While Diddy was in court, he saw 50 Cent walk in, and his face told the whole story. Wide eyes, locked jaw, and shaking hands under the table. We hadn't seen this cool music mogul in decades. On the third day of the trial, witnesses said, Diddy lost it totally when 50 Cent said in public that he supported Cassie. Everyone in the hall was shocked by what came next, which could change the whole case. Now, Fifth. Does calling Puff gay all the time affect your relationships in Hollywood? I don't call him gay. I asked to read it. I'll read it. Fifth, I'm sorry I can't help you anymore. You'll all be gay and happy soon. From now on, Puffy Daddy is in charge of all of you. Tell the Rainbow Dinner Thieves in Phoenix who you are near. It sounds like he doesn't know what he's saying. Do you get what I mean? He says something great, and then he says, Yo, no, we know, but me and you, we ain't. Party. What does he mean by, like we need to party? I feel a little weird when people say that to me. It makes me feel bad. He told me something at Chris Lighty's wedding a long time ago, like he said. He said he would take me shopping. I asked him, What the hell did you just say? Man, let me move before I do something. You're going to mess up the wedding. That's a very kind thing to do. I need to get out of no, dude. Take me. This is what a guy tells a girl. Did he do it right? I understand. You've talked a lot about it on social media. Did it, and I'm the only one who's talked about it as much as I have. I didn't take part either, though. Also, I didn't go to those events. Yes. So, a lot of the famous culture that people don't talk about is because they took part in it. Why didn't you go to those parties back in the day? I'm not into all of that flippant stuff that he's doing. It's possible to say that I'm a little more simple or normal. Sean Diddy Combs made a lot of money by controlling his image. We have seen him walk the red carpet with a perfect smile, do tough interviews without sweating, and handle public issues without losing his cool for 30 years. His image as an unwavering music mogul who always stays calm. In that 2017 interview, a reporter asked about rumors that former workers were getting paid more than they were owed. Could it be that he just smiled, adjusted his suit jacket, and changed the topic without blinking? Or the time his restaurant business failed in 2012, and he went to the party for the closing night party like everything was part of a plan? Diddy has always been like that. He never lets anyone see him sweat. His team made sure that this picture would stay perfect. According to people who are close to Diddy, he hires 12 people just to handle his public appearances. Everything Diddy did in public was planned, from the answers he gave to the looks on his face. I heard from Diddy's former helper that he would practice interview questions for hours in front of the mirror before going on TV. He even hired a special media manager who would put him in unexpected situations to see how well he could handle stress. Behind those fancy sunglasses, though, former employees have been talking about anger issues for years. Someone who used to work at Bad Boy Record told me off the record, there were two Diddys. It was the guy who threw phones at walls when things didn't go his way that everyone saw on TV. No one with real power ever believed these stories, so they never stuck. A few days before the hearing, the first cracks started to show in this picture that looked perfect. Fans asked Diddy to take a picture with them, and he did. Photographers got him snapping at the fan. After that tense press meeting before the trial, he gripped the podium so tightly that his knuckles turned white. Small things, but these slips told a lot about a man who spent millions to keep his image in check. Tanya Rodriguez, who handles PR crises, told me how this works. Celebrities like Diddy build personas that are like castle walls, but when the pressure is high enough, those walls crack and the whole building can fall down quickly. On day 3, that's exactly what took place. Several people in the courtroom said that the carefully made Diddy mask broke apart totally. Marcus Jenkins, who was a court reporter, said that he saw Diddy physically shaking when certain proof was shown. Jenkins said that his leg was shaking so hard that the defense table was moving. 3 times Diddy spoke over his own lawyer, getting louder each time until the judge finally stepped in. Diddy finally lost it when he yelled out of the blue during his statement. Judge Harmon had to tell him that if he did it again, he would be charged with contempt of court. People said that his face was twisted with anger, which was something that no one had ever seen him do in his 30 years of fame. It looked like Diddy might get himself together, but then someone walked into the courtroom and changed everything. The one person Diddy never thought would back up his accuser. His foe in the same field for a long time who has a grudge, and the power to make things hard. People who were there say that Diddy's face turned totally white as soon as 50 Cent walked into the courtroom. And it turns out that he just made a documentary series for Netflix. I'm excited to see this. On the other hand, the media always attacks people who try to speak out about this, or about the people who run the business. People call them crazy. To give you an example of someone who has been attacked in this way, the actor Orlando Brown. During his time on Disney, he said a lot of things that sounded crazy, especially about Diddy. I remember that everyone told us that he was completely crazy and disturbed. Listen to this. The rule is that you have to refuse Diddy's offer. He will get any new booty that's in the building. Do not bring your lady to a Diddy party. He won't shoot you, but you can take it. I think Diddy is to blame. To protect the Big E names, there is still a lot of work being done, just like with Jeffrey Upstate. Tell him the story. Tell him the story. That means we're talking about rumors, right? Yes, some people say that he was Diddy's boy toy when you search for his name on Google. Oh, I see. Hold on. This is why Charlemagne said it wasn't true. I told you. You know what 50 is going to say when he meets you, after he brought it up with you? Oh no, I have no idea what was going on. I really can't wait to see him again. What are you going to say to him? In Miami, Buffy played with your behind. What do you think he'll say to you when he finds out what I said? Did he touch your behind? Yes. I'll see him soon. I'll see him soon. Thanks. Yes. What's going on with Puffy? I know you're not really tuned in, but the last thing I saw was a guy there. He said, "Yo," and then he pushed me into the truck. It hurt a lot, and I like how he slew me. I told her, "Hey look, I can do other things for you." 50 Cent and Diddy have been at odds with each other for almost 20 years. These two haven't just been mean to each other. They have been after each other since the early 2000s. 50 has never tried to hide how he feels about Diddy. He has called him out on radio shows, in talks, and most of all on social media. Do you remember when 50 said Diddy knew something about Biggie's death? Or when he questioned Diddy's sexuality in public for years? It wasn't just rap beef, the tone was private. So on the third day of court, when 50 Cent walked in wearing that signature black suit and sunglasses, everyone in the room stopped moving. Janelle Martin, a court reporter, told me that it was so quiet that you could hear people's phones ringing. In their bags. Diddy stopped talking in the middle of a sentence. He had been whispering to his lawyer. His head snapped up, and 3 different people said that his face went from being confused to shocked to looking very much like he was scared. No one thought 50 would actually show up. Yes, he had been making fun of Diddy online ever since Cassie sued him. The hotel video of Diddy allegedly assaulting Cassie in 2016 was shared by 50 last month with the caption, "Money can't hide who you really are." The post has been seen over 12 million times. After that, he made a number of posts on Instagram saying that he had more proof about Diddy's behavior. Most people don't know this, but 50 had been talking to Cassie's lawyers for weeks. A person's with knowledge of the case told me that 50's team got in touch right after Cassie filed her lawsuit. He told them he believed what she said and was willing to help in any way he could. My source told me that 50 has always been able to wait out his enemies. The mood in the courtroom changed completely when 50 sat down in the back row. It looked like everyone was watching a tennis match as their heads moved back and forth between both of them. Diddy tried to pay attention to his lawyer's notes, but pictures of the courtroom show him looking over his shoulder a lot. Then the big surprise came. During lunch, 50 went outside and saw a group of press waiting for him. He didn't just say that he liked Cassie. He said that through his Junity Foundation, he would personally pay for more legal help for her case. 50 told the press, "I'm putting money behind making sure survivors get heard. I'm also going to help more women tell their stories about strong men in this business." He even said, "This isn't about my history with Diddy. This is about right and wrong." When Diddy heard this in court, witnesses say he reacted quickly and violently. He hit the defensive table with his fist so hard that the water glass broke. Diddy's lawyer tried to calm him down, but he could see that he was shaking. The police moved even closer to the defense table. It couldn't have been worse for Diddy because the prosecution announced they were going to present new evidence just as the fight was at its worst. They said they had proof that Diddy had lied under oath. What came next on the screens in the courtroom did not prepare anyone at all for what they were about to see. He did a lot of bad things. Behind the scenes, he would do bad things with people I did business with that he did business with. I like what he would say. "Did he tell you that?" In other words, I said, "All right. Do you get what I mean? People don't know what they like until they see someone else wearing it. They want the girls after you're done with them, right? Extra food. Yes. They take what's left over. A lot of people have left." The thing that made me mad didn't bother him. "You know, they found Kendrick and his wife. It's clear that they are cutting. They both got the same thing." "Yes." "Outside." "Yes, that shirt is nice. The shirt looked good." "Okay. What did you say when he said the shopping line in real life?" "Oh, let me get away from him," I said. He was like, "Yo, you're hot now. Let's hang out." Like, like hang out. It was like, "I don't know. Maybe I'll take you shopping. I'll get you a flash. You can give me the hood shit." I looked at him and thought, let me just move away from him because I'm going to mess up the wedding. I always tell myself, it was someone's wedding. It was Chris Lighty's legs, and I looked at him like, yo. After 50 Cent showed up out of the blue, the courtroom was already tense. As everyone waited for what to happen next, you could almost feel the air sparking. The prosecutors had a sure, almost smug look on their faces that made it look like they were about to say something big. The lead lawyer said, "Your Honor, we'd like to present evidence item 47B. The defense group looked lost. My source in the room says that Diddy's lead lawyer spoke up right away and said, "Your Honor, we haven't been given any item labeled 47B in discovery." That's when everyone realized that something strange was going on. The judge asked both teams of lawyers to come to the bench. They talked very hard for about 5 minutes, while Diddy sat alone at the defense table and kept looking back at 50 Cent, who hadn't moved from his seat in the back row. The courtroom artist told me that Diddy kept cracking his fingers one at a time. She noticed that he only did this when things got tense. When the lawyers went back to their desks, Did's lawyer looked like he had lost. It was the judge who talked to the jury. Since this information was just found yesterday, the court will let it stand. The prosecutor then said that they had video footage from April 2018 at Diddy's home in Miami. When the screens in the courtroom went off, everything changed. It looked like Diddy and Cassie were in a hallway when the video was taken. The film didn't have sound, but the body language was clear. Cassie was backed up against a wall while Diddy yelled and pointed. Then the moment that made everyone in the courtroom gasp. On the video, Diddy was seen taking Cassie by the shoulders and giving her a hard shake before shoving her to the ground. Diddy responded right away. He got up so quickly that his chair slid backwards. After yelling, "That's not what happened," his lawyer physically pushed him back down. The lawyer was whispering in his ear quickly, but Diddy's face had changed. He had big, wide eyes and heavy breaths. A court worker moved closer to the defense table. What made this video so shocking wasn't just what it showed. It was also what Diddy had said under oath the day before. "I have never in any instance physically assaulted Ms. Ventura or any woman." He went on to say, "There are no videos or evidence of such behavior because it never occurred." As the prosecutor pointed out these contradictions, Diddy's composure completely collapsed. He kept shaking his head, muttering to himself, and, at one point, even put his head down on the table. His attorney requested a brief recess, but the judge denied it, saying, "We will continue with the proceedings. Mr. It's important for Combs to stay calm." Later, the bailiff told reporters that he had never seen a defendant's behavior change so much in just one court session. "It was like watching someone transform right in front of you," he told me. As soon as the court day was over, this shocking information spread quickly through Hollywood. People in the famous world started sending each other texts, picking sides and questioning loyalty. Diddy's carefully built wall of silence around his behavior began to fall apart as quickly as it had been built. And no one could have known how fast his famous friends would start leaving the ship. You may feel like you've been the only one pointing this out for years. "It looks like I've been crazy for a long time. They said you hate people. They're crazy. Do this." Yes. Now everyone is telling me that my behind hurts. All of this is going to happen. 50. It's not funny to talk about it. Don't do that, bro. The internet could come after you. That's all I mean. It could come after you. You can now see it. People who said these things were damned. They got a page. That's what happened, right? And what do I get for being a hater for years? You hate people. You need this and that. It's just how I like to watch things happen. When I see that the new law comes with J, I'll say J. I think, oh shoot. That's when I remember that had to be there. So when I said he was missing, it meant he wasn't actively out there because they were taking care of that. What do you think? Do you think the J thing is true? Not possible. In that way. You know what it's like to say, "I have this thing where I'm conflicted," and then you forget about something that happened to you 20 years later. Yes. Okay. I just don't know. Also, after 10 or 20 years, that comes up again, and it seems like all the problems are caused by preachers touching little boys. You mean that the rules are the way they are because of the priest? Little boys were touched by the priest. Oh. A lot of famous people stood by Diddy before the trial. His famous friends went to his parties, worked with him on his songs, and spoke out in public to support him when rumors started. They formed this circle around him to protect him. That shows how strong Diddy was in Hollywood. No one was willing to put their job at risk by coming out against him. After day 3, everything changed. The code of silence was broken when video of Diddy reportedly assaulting Cassie and his meltdown in court were shown. But 50 Cent was the real spark. By openly supporting Cassie, he let other people choose a side. And coming out for Cassie set off a chain of events. Yesterday, someone in the business world told me, all of a sudden people felt like they could support her without being the first to speak out. That's exactly what happened. Within hours of the 50's trial appearance, the world of celebrities split into two clear groups. The unfollows began right away. Diddy and Usher worked together on a number of hits, but Usher quietly stopped following Diddy on Instagram. During the bad boy moment, Mary J. Blige and Diddy were always together. She did the same thing. Justin Bieber, who looked up to Diddy as a mentor when he first started out, stopped following him and deleted all of the pictures they had taken together in the past. These actions weren't just happen. This is the distance that was found. Things quickly got messy on social media. A lot of famous people started writing vague messages that didn't directly mention Diddy, but made it clear what they meant. Lizzo shared a picture of women that didn't say anything else. "Power doesn't equal truth" were written on a black screen, and shared by The Weeknd. Drake, who usually stays out of business trouble, wrote on Instagram, "The truth always comes out in the end." After the video from the courtroom leaked, some people took a more direct approach. This kind of behavior has been going on for years in the industry, Cardi B said live on Instagram. It's time we stop protecting abusers just because they got paid. Even though she didn't say Diddy's name, everyone knew who she was talking about. Diddy's calls aren't being answered, which is the most telling sign that his fame is rising. A member of his management team told me that some A-list celebrities who used to answer Diddy's calls right away are now screening him. Since what happened in court, he's called Rihanna 6 times, but she hasn't picked up any of the calls. Similar rumors about Beyoncé and Jay-Z not releasing statements of support, even though Diddy's team begged them to, are going around the business, according to my source. At the same time, support for Cassie grows every day. Female artists who used to work with Diddy are getting in touch with her lawyers and offering to talk about their own experiences. Celebrities who usually don't talk about legal issues in public are posting words to support her. Cassie got flowers from Lady Gaga with a note that said, "I believe you." Someone close to Cassie says that this change would have been unthinkable a week ago. Because Diddy had such a tight grip on the business, attacking him could mean the end of careers. It's now totally different who has power. Every day, more and more famous people left his sinking ship. But the real explosion wasn't over yet. As more proof came in and celebrities took sides, it got even bigger. In a courtroom explosion that left everyone, including the judge, speechless, Diddy finally lost his fragile tranquility. How much does this person want? I'm not sure. It's just a simple suitcase, but it costs about 20 mil. You still had to cover up his face, I can say that. You still have to say his voice because he says, but his voice wasn't even that different. I went a little further. I almost said, no, that's you, young buck. I was that sure of who it was. Do you get what I mean? No, you heard what he just said, right? I asked. Yo, some things didn't let it go by because it's Puff. It looked like he was saying things, and he wasn't hiding anything. Like, he was in the hall. You leave because you see too much now. No, this could be seen. He was down the hall. The movie was shown to us. That movie was shown to us. It comes out afterward. You like, that's not the closet, that's the... He didn't give a... Like, you could tell he was already ners dope because he told Fab, "Yo, Fab, we ain't partying." Fab said, "No, we're just having fun." He says, "No." But he didn't. Party. Okay. Yo, they let that one go, I said. Like, I had to say something about it later because I was like, oh, it was so. The last explosion happened during Cassie's testimony on day 3. The courtroom was packed with people, including 50 Cent, who was still sitting there with his arms crossed. Diddy had been getting more angry all morning. Melissa Johnson, a court worker, saw that he kept whispering to his lawyers, and each time he did it, it got louder. His leg kept moving around under the table. He would loosen his tie, and then pull it back up. Signs that someone is about to lose it. Around 2:30 p.m., Cassie went on the stand. She spoke clearly and looked the jury in the eye as she talked about something that happened in 2019. She told the judge that Diddy had made business threats against her after she tried to end their relationship. He said he made me, and he could destroy me just as easily, she said. Before she even finished talking, Diddy began to shake his head. His lawyer kept putting his hand on his arm to try to calm him down. The judge also saw it. Damon Williams, a court reporter, told me that the judge wrote something on a pad of paper and gave it to Diddy's lawyer. It was a warning about how his client was acting, Williams said. When Cassie talked about a party at Diddy's Hamptons home in 2018, things broke down. She said that after seeing her talking to another music producer, he locked her in her bedroom. For 2 days. Davy's face changed as she talked. His mouth got tighter, and his eyes got bigger. From the balcony you could see a vein on his forehead. The courtroom artist did a great job of capturing the moment. This angry look is different from anything else we've seen him wear. Diddy stood up all of a sudden. It was too late. His lawyer grabbed his suit jacket and tried to pull him back down, but it was too late. He pointed right at Cassie and yelled, "That's all lies!" The jury stopped moving when someone said, "You know what you did." Even the court reporter took a moment to type. Cassie jerked, but she didn't look at him. She kept her eyes on the road. Oh no, Diddy wasn't done yet. He walked over to where 50 Cent was sitting in the back of the hall. He yelled, "And you!" His voice broke with anger. Court security moved right toward Diddy and told him, "You'll regret getting involved in this." 2 police officers stood between him and the witness stand. Someone else stood right behind his chair. There were 3 slams on her head by Judge Harmon. She told him, "Mr. Combs, you will behave yourself in my courtroom. One more outburst, and I will hold you in contempt. Please stay where you are, security." Diddy's lead lawyer stood up and tried to ask for a short break, but the judge stopped him. "Sit down, counsel," the judge said. "We will continue." People watching couldn't believe what they were seeing. Diddy, who was known for being calm and collected, losing control in public. A juror was seen writing a lot in her notebook right after the outburst, which was not a good sign for the defense. Despite everything, Cassie stayed calm on the stand. She took a sip of water and kept talking as if the explosion had never happened. Later, her lawyer told reporters that her calmness came from feeling confident that she finally had support from big names in the entertainment industry like 50 Cent. When Diddy made the threat, 50's response was a small smile and a slow, deliberate nod, as if to say, "I'm exactly where I want to be." The balance of power had changed right in front of everyone's eyes, and Cassie wasn't done telling her story. As soon as court ended, Diddy's lawyers huddled together in crisis mode. When he started yelling in court, their whole defense plan fell apart. They tried to show him as a calm, reasonable businessman who had never hurt anyone. A lawyer told me they spent all night rewriting their strategy because showing him as the perfect gentleman was no longer possible to sell to the jury. Their new plan in a hurry was to play the victim. Diddy's lawyers just this morning filed an urgent motion for a mistrial. The document says that 50 Cent's presence was an intentional attempt to provoke our client and create a hostile environment. They even included screenshots of 50's social media posts about Diddy as proof of a coordinated campaign to change the outcome of the trial. But the judge didn't believe them. Within hours, she turned down the motion, writing that Mr. Combs was the only one responsible for his actions. Now Diddy's team is working hard to come up with a backup defense that acknowledges some of Cassie's claims while disputing others. They're suddenly portraying him as passionate, but misunderstood. They have changed everything they were going to do from the beginning. Meanwhile, Cassie's team is making the most of Diddy's meltdown. Her lead lawyer has asked the judge to let 3 new witnesses speak who had refused to before. These witnesses reportedly came forward after seeing Diddy lose his cool and feel safer now that his power seems to be fading. Sources close to the case tell me that these witnesses include a former security guard and 2 assistants who saw Diddy's alleged behavior firsthand. 50 Cent is also getting more angry about the case. Since the fight in court, he's posted 7 times, with each message being more critical than the last. People really liked his most recent post, which had a split screen of Diddy in court next to security footage and the words, "Actions speak," louder than lawyers. It got over 3 million likes in just 6 hours. He also announced a new documentary series called Music Industry Secrets, which many people think will be about Diddy. Cassie herself may have changed the most noticeable thing. When she came back to testify after Diddy's outburst, she sat up, straighter, and spoke with more confidence, which was confirmed by her lawyer, who said, "My client feels validated. She's finding her voice with each day of this trial." Legal experts think Diddy's behavior in court hurt his case a lot. Sarah Matthews, a jury advisor, said, "Jurors make decisions based on behavior they witness themselves. Just now they saw him lose it. That will stick with them more than anything else." Another person who follows the trial said that after Diddy's outburst, the jury's body language changed, with several members leaning away from him. Diddy's business empire is also showing signs of weakness. Shares in his Revolt Media company dropped 14% after the incident in court, and 3 major brands have quietly stopped working with his liquor companies. His talent agency is said to be reviewing his representation, and people in the business think he could lose up to $200 million in business deals no matter what the verdict is. The balance of power has shifted completely. Diddy, who used to be untouchable, now sees his empire fall apart while Cassie's rises every day. This case is now about a lot more than just one relationship, since 50 Cent has promised more revelations. It could reveal secrets that the whole music industry has been keeping secret for decades. The music industry power map has just been completely redrawn. Diddy, who used to control his image and scare people in the industry for decades, is now at the defense table, watching his empire fall apart in real time. Cassie used to be afraid to speak out, but now she has unexpected supporters like 50 Cent backing her claims. This shift in power wasn't seen coming. 50's smart move turned what should have been an easy win for Diddy into a public reckoning that gets messier every day. This case isn't just about Diddy anymore. This has made it possible for others to talk about famous musicians who thought they couldn't be harmed. The silence is ending.